Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this vlog you can see me cruising to the dry dock where the boat's coming out of the water for some essential repairs following the survey. The survey highlighted some problems with the hull and also mainly with the engine. So the boat's coming out of the water to have the engine repairs done and also to be blacked with new anodes. Also to have a new stern gland fitted because the one that we have at the moment is currently out of alignment. So in this dry dock the boat's driven in and then the water is pumped out. You'll see just shortly there was a delay in finishing pumping the water out because there was a really large fish. I've never seen a fish this big before, and it's a horrible thought to think if you fell in the canal, this is what's lurking around in there. There you go, you can see it now. I think it's called a pike, and it actually has teeth, so it wouldn't go through the pumper thing to get the water out. So yeah, I just thought I'd include that because it was quite interesting to me. The fish was safely caught and put back in the canal. So in this next shot coming up, you'll see that the boat was partly power washed. So you can see the difference there between the bit that was power washed and the green section to the left that hasn't yet been washed. Hey guys, so I haven't been able to do much filming whilst Sleeping Them On has been in the dry dock getting some repairs done, just with work and getting in the way of the guys who have been working. So she, as you can see, she's behind me. She's had 3 coats of bitumen. I'll explain why she's had 3 coats and we haven't gone for the shot blasting afterwards. So she's had 3 coats. She's had new, let me just turn the camera around. She's had 2 new anodes at the front and 3 down each side and 2 at the back. So you can see the difference between the old ones, which are just there, and the new ones. So the old ones are completely gone. So she really needed new anodes. So you can see along the side that she's got 3 on that side. So also while she's been in, she's had a new front hook welded here for the chain to go on for the front fender because this hook was snapped off. So the front fender is on. On the survey, both the fenders needed to be replaced because they were perished. So she's got a new one at the front and I'll show you the one at the back. But I'll show you from this angle, they look so different out the water. She's actually quite ugly out the water. I shouldn't say that, but she is. So yeah, her hull looks a lot better. As I walk down, you can see here that she took quite a big impact at some point. She's got quite a dent there that goes all the way up. There's nothing wrong with that, it's just is what it is. It wasn't picked up as a problem on the survey. So if I walk down, she's got the new anodes at the front. And the same like the other side, 3 down this side. I think they just put these plugs in whilst they're painting so they don't get anything in them. I'm going to see if I can find some pitting when we get around the other side and I'll show you what the pitting actually looks like. I think it's probably, well, you might be able to see, but there's like these little sort of holes. So those are what need to be, so the hull still needs to be shot blasted and then puddle welded, but this is kind of what it looks like. A few that are like deeper than others, so some of them go up to 2 mil, so we do need to address that. Some other anodes here. And then round the back, so you'll see on one of the other clips to come that her tiller arm was removed and the prop was removed. So she's had a new prop shaft, new cutlass bearing, and everything's been realigned. The other bit of welding that was done is, I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but it's a bit wet. So there's like these little sort of hooks. They were missing and the rudder was sort of taking little chunks out. So they've been welded on, 1 at each side, probably just about see. So it's a new back fender I was telling you about. So Still got to paint around this bit, couldn't get to it before because the old fender was sitting there. But yeah, the new back fender looks really good. My partner fitted that on for me and he did a really good job of it. Yeah, so I think around this side you can see the pitting a bit better with the light, maybe not. Yeah, so it's like these little holes, if I can zoom in, yeah, there you go. So that's the little holes that I was talking about, that's pitting, and that's what needs to be puddle welded. So there's quite a lot of these as you go along. So yeah, could be quite a bit of welding. So whilst the boat was out the water, the tiller was removed and all the stern gear, which connects the stern to the engine, that was all replaced. So you'll see in the shot that's coming up, they took the old one out and we've had all new ones installed. We did keep the existing prop, which is actually slightly bigger than what we need for the boat. But yeah, you can see the prop there and the stern tube and all the other technical bits that I'm not quite sure what they are. So one of the main things that needed sorted while we were in the dry dock was the engine. So it was picked up in the engine survey that there was a lot of work needing to be done. And when the boat was in, we were super lucky because the engineers said that we could have lost the engine because all these holes that you can see on screen had all completely perished. So it was so close to losing the engine you would not believe. So whilst the boat was in, she also had these engine mounts replaced. So you can see those on screen, there's 4 of those. And they needed to be replaced because they had corroded away, so the engine wasn't straight with the prop shaft. So you can see now that the work's been done. The engine bay is quite a state. That still needs to be sorted out, so it's a work in progress. So if you were wondering where the dogs were while this work was getting done, they obviously can't be in the dry dock because it's too dangerous, so they were at Andrew's. So you can see they're quite comfortable on the couch. So thanks to Andrew for looking after them for me for a couple of days. So now that the work's done in the marina and we have a good engine, it's all safe, the hull's fine, it's time to go on a cruise. So the weather over the last few weeks has been super nice. So I'm just taking the boat out for a cruise, taking it away from Mercia and going up towards Stenson for a few days. So the reason why we went for the bitumen instead of being shot blasted for the time being is because the engineers felt that the condition of the hull wasn't too bad and that we could leave it until the boat is hauled out the water next time. With COVID and everything, it's really difficult to get the boat booked in at the moment. So we took their advice and got the boat painted with bitumen and have the new anodes on, so now we can enjoy the cruising season and get the boat's hull sorted out in the next sort of 2 to 3 years. I was staying at Stenson, look at this absolutely stunning sunrise that I woke up to, is because I was getting new solar panels fitted to the boat. So as I mentioned previously, sorting out the power was really necessary because the old panels didn't really work and the cover was actually covering them up. So I got 2 new panels, I think they're 380 watts each, with a new charge controller, Bluetooth, so that I could see how the solar's performing, and also a new battery monitor. So it's the same setup like I had on my last boat. One of the things that was picked up in the engine service was that the batteries were not properly wired and they were also not working properly. So you can see on screen that I got 2 new batteries. The plan is to go up to 4 when I can, but for the time being 2 leisures plus 1 starter seems to be holding out. These are bigger batteries at 160 amp hours each. This is the first panel, it's just been placed on. The second one is going to go directly behind it. These new panels are 380 watts each. So these were the old panels. They were two 175 watt solar panels, and when the back cover was down they completely covered half the panels, so they didn't really work properly. So that's the two new panels fitted, well, not quite secured down, but they were just placed there to be checked to see if they were straight. So they look really good on the boat. So I had Ed Shires from Four Counties Marine Services fit them, and he did a really good job. I'll leave his details down below if you want to contact him to get any work done. I can't recommend Ed highly enough. So this is the new panels in situ. I've been using them now for a couple of weeks and they are so good. So what I really like about them is that they are really slim, so they're not bulky. You can't really see that the boat has them fitted, so I like that, so that it sort of reduces the risk of theft. You'll see from one of the clips in a moment that when you look at the boat side on, you can hardly see they're there. There you go. So you can see that they're just really slimline. They're not bulky. They look really good. This is the new battery monitor that I had fitted, so it's the BMV 712 Smart, so it's Bluetooth and it tells me on my phone how the batteries are performing. This is the MPPT 150, also Bluetooth, so again it gives me the app and I can see how the solar is. So I went for the larger model because the panels are bigger watt capacity. This is the screenshot of the solar on the app, so it tells me how much is coming in, the voltage and the current, and the state, and this shows the graph of how much solar I've had. So I've already had 18 kilowatt hours, which I think this was over like a week, so it's absolutely brilliant. And the last shot that I'm going to show you is the battery monitor. So at the moment the batteries are 100% charged and it tells me the voltage, the current, consumed amp hours and things like that. So I'm really happy with the setup now. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I feel like I'm really starting to get somewhere now with the boat projects. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of the new power setup, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, bye!